Hello YouTube, this is Crosscheck and today I have great news. We have some really cool updates today from the Microsoft Flight Simulator team, and we are going to begin with the juiciest of them all, the new Feature Discovery Series episode number 7, Multiplayer. As always, link to the full video is on this video's description. I will proceed now to give you a rundown of this episode and add some commentary to it. Maybe also state a couple of questions that I think are unanswered. This new episode is presented by Sebastian Bloch, CEO at Asobo Studios. He basically discusses 3 main points regarding multiplayer, this being one shared world, ways to engage in multiplayer, and its technology. Let's talk about one shared world. Bloch states that the primary goal with multiplayer is to have all virtual pilots in a single shared online world. This being accomplished through the power of Azure servers, which is able to provide the server capacity required to host all clients, in a robust solution that is instantly and extremely scalable. Thanks to this, it is possible to have one shared world. It is important to note that in this shared world, the mission is to bring all the pilots together. Yes, not only the virtual pilots in the simulator, but also the pilots flying in the real world. So indeed, real air traffic should be present in this simulator. The experience is seamless. There is nothing to manage, nothing to configure, no server to join or create. You jump into the simulator, pick an aircraft, a location, and that's pretty much it. You are in the one shared world. You wanna fly with a friend? Just tell him to spawn in the same airfield, and that's it. Could not be any simpler. Now we mentioned real-world air traffic. Most, if not all, real traffic should be visible in this one shared world. In case signal to the real aircraft is lost, the AI will take command of this aircraft until the data comes back online. Let's now jump into the next point. Ways to engage in multiplayer. Having a single shared world is all nice and fun, but being able to tailor your experience to your liking is always something that is extremely welcomed. The Microsoft Flight Simulator team approaches this by enabling its users to choose filters to apply, enabling them to choose who to fly with and how to fly. Different modes will be available. Let's start with the most serious mode. This one is called Live Players Only. This is a perfect mode if you want to fly by the book. In this mode, you are limited to real-time live weather. This is to ensure that everyone flying here has the same exact circumstances, same visibility, same weather, same active runways, same everything. Everybody here is flying under the same exact rules, of course, different aircraft. Then we have the All Players mode, a mode created for those interested in not following most rules, or any by that matter. This is a nice place to practice with a new aircraft, try a new hard approach, fiddle with the different weather, go crazy with all the settings you can change, and you can do all of this with the company of all other online players. And best of all, you can fly to JFK and experience firsthand some of the most pathetic air shows by a Boeing 747 you can imagine. Truly a magical event. But it gets even better. If you want to fly with your buddies under specific rules and only with your buddies, you can create a group. Have them join this group, and the group leader can set the parameters everyone will fly in, and it can be chosen to only see each other and not the rest of the fantastic air shows going on. Now let's jump into the last point, the technology. Multiple clusters have been built around the world. You will connect automatically to the best server cluster available in your location, basically the one with the lowest ping. Currently only 2 clusters are operating, one in Western Europe and one in North America. If so desired, you can choose to manually connect to a cluster, in case you wish to fly with some people in particular. Obviously, a lot of aircraft can be flying around the globe at the same time. This is in real life and virtually. So how many of these aircraft will you be able to see in your machine when flying? Well, let's start by this. Everything inside a 200-kilometer radius will be quote-unquote visible to you. We'll get into more details in a little bit. Which, to be honest, sounds like a lot, and that is because, well, it is. Now, here's where things get a little more interesting. You will only see the 50 closest multiplayer aircraft, which still, I think it is a very reasonable number. Obviously, this is done in order to save bandwidth. Basically, the servers will be creating 50-player mini-servers automatically depending on the position of the aircraft, no input required. Of course, all of this is the amount of data the server will send to you. What you will be able to display in your computer, well, that is a whole different story, and that mostly depends on the hardware you got, your hardware capabilities. A limit will exist. a limit on the distance where aircraft are rendered, and a limit on the amount of aircraft that may be rendered in a single point in time. But even if you don't see them, that doesn't mean that they are not there. The information will still be sent from the server to your computer, even if you cannot display it as an aircraft, and you will still be able to see those aircraft in your aircraft radar. So that's pretty cool. Now, something very important regarding technology being developed for this multiplayer experience. This is going to be especially impressive for DCS users, that is, Digital Combat Simulator. The Flight Simulator team has developed some, I quote, advanced technology to make sure the flying experience is smooth. In more detail, a dead reckoning interpolation which appears to work brilliantly. So all the aircraft around you will be super smooth. No disappearing, no rubber banding, no bouncing all around the place, just aircraft flying smoothly. What a time to be alive. So that is basically all the information we received in this new episode. Of course, a lot of questions have been answered, but as always, other questions arise from this. Things I would like to have more detail on are numero uno, damage model. Of course, what level of damage model will we have in the simulator and how will this play in multiplayer is a very interesting question. My current expectations are that we are getting poor damage models and there will be no collision in multiplayer. My wishes, of course, would be that we have realistic damage models and the option to turn collisions on or off for multiplayer. Numero dos. Is there a limit to the size of the group you can do? If I want to make a cross-check group flight, how many people can I invite? I know the servers only send me the information regarding the 50 closest aircraft, but is there a lower limit for the group size? Or is there even a limit? That would be interesting. Numero tres. If for any particular reason someone wants to create a dedicated server, will something like this be possible? I really hope it will, because it is just a matter of time for people to start modding the crap out of this simulator. And servers with pretty amazing mods can become a reality. Numero cuatro. When the AI takes over a real-world flight that stops sending data, will it continue flying according to the flight plan? Will it imitate real aircraft arriving at the same location in front of it? Will it just continue flying in a straight line? And if data comes back online from that aircraft, and the AI drifted from the current live position, how will the aircraft merge into its real position again? Hopefully in a smooth and convincing manner, right? Numero cinco. So we have a single shared world, but it is divided in two server clusters that seem to not communicate with each other. So is it really a single shared world? Or are we going to have various quote-unquote single shared worlds? Those are some questions I ended up with after watching this episode. But nevertheless, I am very pleased with what has been shown. Multiplayer clearly will be available and extremely easy and convenient to jump into. Quite exactly the opposite from something like X-Plane 11. I am super happy to hear that they are working hard on keeping aircraft around us flying smooth. Hopefully that will mean that they will also land smoothly in a realistic manner. Watching landings in multiplayer and the current flight simulators has always been kind of sad. Probably one of the best experiences I've had regarding watching aircraft taxiing or taking off and landing in multiplayer has to be Il-2 Sturmovik. It is quite fantastic, to be honest. Anyway, we got a lot of information to cover in this video. We got a new development roadmap, new information on postponed deliverables, an alpha build update, information on the alpha invitations, a feedback snapshot, and some new pretty pictures. Really pretty pictures. So let's move on, shall we? Let's start talking about the postponed deliverables. Episode 7 multiplayer, as we can see, has been released. The development roadmap has also been released. We will jump into it after this. We can expect a feedback snapshot update early April. Episode 8 IFR should be released mid-April. And we should also get the incredibly postponed partnership series update mid-April. Okay, so regarding the development roadmap, April and May previews have been released, so let's take a look on those. Early April, we will have a pre-release build timeline update, we will have an insider preview for the feedback snapshot version 4, and as always, a media update. Mid-April, episode 8, IFR, as mentioned, and an update on the SDK. Also, of course, a media update. Late April, we are getting an announcement. It says, save the date, so... what may this be? Maybe a release date? That would be insane, also considering the current situation. We'll also be getting a development roadmap update from May and June, the feedback snapshot version 4 may get some polishing for a general release, and another media update. Early May we will be getting an update regarding the feature discovery series, probably more episodes will be coming our way, that would be super nice. Another partnership announcement, series update, an insider preview for the feedback snapshot version 5, and as always, another media update. Mid-May, we can expect a pre-release build timeline update, yet another partnership announcement series update, an SDK update, and another media update. Late May, we got a development roadmap update for June and July. The feedback snapshot version 5 should be polished for general and another media update. Lots going on. Let's move on. Regarding the new alpha build, we can expect this new build to be released early next week. Once ready to download, the team will be sending an update. Regarding alpha invitations, they continue to discuss the current participation strategy. This is because some unrest has been going on inside the community regarding the access to the alpha. They will finalize any changes and communicate them with us once they release the updated alpha build. So this should also take place next week maybe? The current top 3 tasks regarding the alpha participation are: Number 1, ensure that everyone received an acceptance email has access to the alpha. Number 2, ensure that those that registered early for pre-release build testing have access to the alpha. Number 3, access alpha participation options for adding people as quickly as possible. Now let's have a look into the general release of the feedback snapshot. Basically it is the same as seen in the insider preview, but for those not up to date, let's do a quick dive. Okay, so what are the top questions that the community has for the Microsoft Flight Simulator team that have not yet been officially answered? Those are: what is the official aircraft list? What is the official airport list? What are the big improvements plans or update frequencies, if there are any? Is there gonna be a campaign mode, missions, progression? What about the damage model? Are we getting fully functional airports? What are the minimum specs for the simulator? What about the nav data and the update frequency of this? When are we going to be able to pre-order this and when is it going to be releasing? What is the pricing model for this simulator? Now let's jump into the top alpha issues. So okay, right now people are playing the alpha obviously, and there are a couple of issues. Issues like the controls mapping, extreme headaches over there as always. The grass scale, size, appearance, which supposedly has been already fixed. So that should be fixed for the next alpha build that should be released next week. That is awesome. There were some issues regarding the ground effect aerodynamic sensitivity, some issues with the ground friction formula, also with some input sensitivities, some live weather issues. The flight model and ground handling has been weird in some aircraft. The tree scales are also sometimes a little bit out of whack. The trim sensitivity has been presenting some issues, and the weather has behaved a little weird, sometimes giving some incorrect updrafts. Now let's jump into the top wish list. These are things that were originally not planned to be in the simulator, but because of popular demand, the team created this list and they supposedly are working on them. So third-party content, SDK, that actually officially has been reported that third-party content is being created right now, and there will be a lot of third-party content available on release date of this simulator, which is absolutely insane. Also, the community wants AI traffic, but not like dumb AI, like super smart AI, that would be super cool. Also ATC, that now thinking about how they have real air traffic in the simulator, a realistic ATC inside the simulator is gonna be really interesting. I have no idea how they're gonna be accomplishing this. People also want helicopters. Sadly, no plans for helicopters just yet. Obviously, helicopters are a completely different beast than fixed wing, so yeah, but I do love me some beautiful death traps, so I hope we do get helicopters. That would be awesome. The community also wants peripheral support for advanced setups. Yeah, basically that you can use anything you can put your hands on to control your simulator. The community also wants seasons, which we had a little sneak peek regarding that. That was really interesting, but still no official statements on what is going on regarding the seasons. Also, it has been asked to have a shared cockpit functionality, which we had some leaks showing a little bit of work being done on this area, but still we have no official information on this. And lastly, and one of the most important, VR and track IR. It would be really dumb to launch the simulator without VR or track IR capability. Being honest, at the very least, track IR. But yeah, VR is also super important, even more so now after the release of Half-Life Alyx. I think a lot of us got into VR because of that. I just did, and it's amazing. I can't go back to track IR after flying on VR. It's just that amazing. All right, now let's go and check out some pretty pictures. This first one, clearly it depicts a beautiful castle. No idea where this is. I am imagining that it is in the old continent. More than that, I have no idea. But it does look real pretty. The little hill it is over, it does look a little bit funky. But, I mean, that's just being really picky. It looks really good. I mean, it's fantastic. And now we have an image being shot from the cockpit. This one is called City. And again, I have no idea where this is. I would love people to name their images after the city they are flying in. It would make things much easier. And as always, it just looks really cool. This image is called Cruise. And again, no idea where we're at. I'm sorry for my ignorance. I just love the reflections on the aircraft. Absolutely brilliant. Now this image is called the desert. Again, my ignorance won't allow me to tell you where exactly this is. But I love how this image looks. Those sand dunes look absolutely amazing. I am really curious of what would happen if you try to land in this kind of terrain. That is something I must try out. Now this image is called Fixed Wing. And yeah, I guess. Okay, so again, I have no idea where this is. This appears to be a gray goose, I believe, and it does have a fair amount of detail. That's actually impressive. I don't even want to know the amount of effort that took this photographer to go and take this picture. That's amazing. Now this one is called Forest, and it depicts a quite nice forest indeed. Again, no idea where this is. But I do like how forests look in the simulator, it's amazing. Okay, now this image, to make matters worse, it's called I'm Not Telling. So yeah, good job. But actually, the name really is very descriptive of where we are at. This is a place a lot of people have been wanting to see. This is Area 51, and it does look pretty crazy. Now this picture is called Mountains, and yeah, thank you for that name, that's amazing. It doesn't tell us much, but it does look beautiful. Wow, those are some very pretty mountains, and those clouds look so dynamic. The way they are folding over the mountains, that's just awesome. And this one is called the River. Why do they put these names on these pictures? Oh my god. I mean, the level of effort is insane. Because of the buildings, I will say this is somewhere in the old continent. I think I see the Colosseum. So if that is a Colosseum, that is awesome. And if it is, well, we are in Rome, Italy, which it looks amazing. Now this one is called the Sad Hill. I am not sure why it's named Sad, but there is something about this hill. It looks so nice. It looks just beautiful to fly in this place. Now we have this one called Sun, and yeah, it depicts the sun. So awesome. Wow, the way the light travels through the volumetric clouds is just so impressive. How can this look so beautiful? Wow, this is astonishing. And this picture is called Shuahai, which thank you for naming your photograph with the name of the city. This city is in the beautiful and majestic People's Republic of China, and holy cow, the level of detail is insane. They really went all out with those buildings. That is amazing to see. It never ceases to amaze. And yeah, we are finished. Finally, this was a long one, but it was a really fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you thought regarding the multiplayer episode. What questions do you have that you think should be answered regarding that? Are you worried about something in particular? What do you think that Save the Date update is gonna be about? That is really intriguing. What were your thoughts about these pictures? Man, there are so many things to ponder about in this update. Anyway, yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy flying, cross check out.